After almost 80 hours into this game, I have officially beaten Atelier Yumia, the Alchemist of Memories, and the Envisioned. What's up everybody, AJ here, and in this video I will be doing a review on Atelier Yumia and voice my thoughts on the world exploration, the combat, and the story of this game. So first off, I'm gonna talk about the world exploration of this game. The world of Atelier Yumia consists of 4 regions, and in order to proceed from one region to the next, you have to beat the respective bosses in order to proceed to the next region. From that aspect alone, it reminds me of the world design in Atelier Ryza 2, where you go from one dungeon to another. And I kinda like that aspect where every region serves a purpose. Unlike in Atelier Ryza 3, where they brought back some areas of Atelier Ryza 1 for no reason other than material gathering and treasure hunting. They're just there for the sake of being there. So I'm kinda glad that almost every part of the map in Atelier Yumia serves a purpose, be it main quest or side quest. There's quite a lot of stuff that this game offers during exploration, where there's fishing, camping, solving puzzles, and the fact that exploration can be done while riding a motorcycle makes the world exploration aspect of the game so much more cooler. But of course, there are areas that you are unable to access unless you obtain certain types of bullets or bullet recipes, which can only be obtained by doing pioneering missions. Here's another thing that I gotta highlight. The material gathering for crafting items in this game is so much better and easier, as the game provides different multiple monster habitats and gathering spots. And another cool aspect of the material gathering is that once you've managed to discover a new material, and if you want to get more of those materials, you just have to go to the menu, head over to the guide section, and mark the material that you want to gather, and the map will tell you where you can find such materials. Long story short, the material gathering in this game is way better than the Atelier Ryza trilogy. In case you're wondering what is the purpose of gathering materials in this game, it's for crafting weapons, crafting armors, crafting accessories and other items, which can be done via the synthesis system. The synthesis system is basically a fill-in-the-blanks concept similar to Atelier Ryza. The only big difference is that you can only place one ingredient per slot, and if you want to expand the slot, you have to level up the recipe in order to craft the item at the best quality possible. Personally, I kinda like the synthesis system in this game, although it took me a while to figure out how it works, and it took me about 15 to 20ish minutes to craft the items at the best quality possible. But once you manage to do so, you're gonna have an easier time in combat, as the monsters in this game gets tougher and tougher, especially in the later half of the game. Another thing regarding the synthesis aspect of this game is that it has a simple synthesis function where you can make stuff during exploration, like fishing bait, bullets, and camping tools, just to make the world exploration and game progression much more better. The next thing I'm going to talk about is the combat of this game. Now, I'm not going to go into detail as to how the combat is in this game, but I will say this. I personally enjoy the combat in this game, even though it's basically a button mashing game or some kind, as it gives you the opportunity to switch characters anytime you want during combat, and you get to see different characters doing different cool stuff. And I'm glad that the monsters level are based on the location, unlike in Atelier Ryza 3, where the enemies are scaled based on your character level regardless of where you are. And as a matter of fact, the characters level up pretty fast to the extent that all the characters have reached maximum level, which is level 100, by the time I reach the 3rd region. But then again, it's probably because I equipped an accessory which increases the experience gain on 3 of my characters, which are Yumia, Ayla, and Victor, which is probably the reason why the characters level up so fast. Regardless, character progression in this game is definitely better and smoother than Atelier Ryza 3. Next up, I'm gonna talk about the story of this game. The story in this game definitely has a darker tone than the Atelier Ryza trilogy, where people's impression of alchemy is bad because of a tragic incident, and Yumia has to try her utmost best to prove that alchemy can be used for the greater good while investigating the cause of the tragic incident with her comrades. And the fact that memories are involved, it makes the storytelling of the game much more interesting. I personally like the darker tone of the story in this game and the way they present the story, as it kept me engaging from start to end. And I kinda like the idea that once the final boss has been beaten, the game straight jumps into the ending of the game, similar as to how previous Final Fantasy games did. Because in the Atelier Ryza trilogy, what they did once the final boss has been beaten, they made an epilogue section of some kind where I have to have a conversation with every other main character before reaching the ending of the game. I can understand the purpose of them doing that, but I personally prefer a game where the game jumps straight right into the ending after beating the final boss, regardless of how long the ending can be, instead of the epilogue approach that the Atelier Ryza trilogy did. And since I mentioned boss earlier on, I can see the effort being put into the bosses, and they're trying to make the bosses at least as memorable as possible, compared to the Atelier Ryza trilogy where there's little to no memorable boss fights at all. So I appreciate the developers' effort of trying to make these boss fights as memorable as possible. However, some sections of the main quest feels odd at times, where the sequence of the main quest is all over the place during one section of the final region, and some of the side quests is kinda boring, where it's basically lore dump, which I find it not interesting, to be completely honest. But overall, I really enjoyed the story to some extent, and I kinda look forward to how Gust, who are the developers in charge of Atelier Yumia, is gonna continue the story from here on out. Now, there are a few things I want to criticize on this game. The first thing being the performance issue of this game, where I was getting frame drops while exploring the first region, which is called Lignis region, and using certain items during combat. At first I thought it was just the limitations of my CPU. Then I found out that it wasn't just me. There were other people that played this game on PC facing performance issue as well. There's even moments when I want to teleport from one area to another, the game crashes. So what I did is I had to lower the resolution of the game and did some graphical settings in order to play this game at the most optimal way possible. And another thing that I want to criticize on is that when they release a game demo, prior to the release of Atelier Yumia, Gust never released a game demo of any Atelier game. But when they announced a demo for Atelier Yumia, I was kinda shocked, to be very honest. But the fact that they released a demo just 4 days before the game is released kinda got me worried, as normally a demo of a game is released a month or two before the full game is released. And that demo is used to test run a game to their audience, and once the developers got feedback from the audience, they will use the remaining time to optimize the game as much as possible. So not only Gust released a demo for Atelier Yumia 4 days before the full game is released, The demo itself is poorly optimized on PC, which left a bad impression on the people who played this game on PC. So I hope that in future, if Gust plans to release a demo for a new Atelier game, I hope that they released it in a month or two before they release the next full game, so that they can optimize the game as much as possible. Overall, if I were to rate this game, I would love to give it an 8 out of 10 because I really love the world exploration of this game and the tone of the story in this game. I really love it. I really love those two aspects of the game. Unfortunately, because of the fact that the performance issue that I had during my early playthrough of the game, I'm giving this game a 7 out of 10. And that's pretty much my review on Atelier Yumia, the Alchemist of Memories, and the Envisioned Land. Thank you guys for watching. I'll be back with more videos, so if you guys wanna check out when I'm gonna drop my new videos, please do feel free to hit the subscribe button down below, and don't forget to hit the bell notification as well, so that you will be notified when I drop my latest videos. Until then, my name is AJ, hope you all have a good one, and I will see you all in the next video.